A very active entrance here. I think we have a swarm in there. So it's about 7 o'clock in the evening on May the 26th. And we're going to be going out of town for about 4 days. So once they go in here and get settled for the evening, we're going to close this slide and take them back to our house. Get them on a hive stand, and tomorrow morning I'll probably transfer them into a 10-frame box. So good bit of activity here. We'll see what we can do once they all decide to make it in. There were a bunch more on the outside, and they are going in faster than they're coming out, so we shouldn't be long here. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and transfer this swarm trap that we caught into a regular hive here. It's not the best of weather, but we're going away for the next 4 days, and I'm not going to be able to be here to do this. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this done and get these girls on a box. I haven't even opened this yet to see how full it is, but I know it was pretty full when we went and picked it up the other night, or last night actually. So had the lid screwed down, but I'm gonna lift her up a little bit and see what we got here. Yeah, we got a decent little swarm in there. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set this off to the side here and get my 10-frame hive up on here. I'll just transfer them like this. Make sure we have her all lined up here. Okay. And I am going to leave an entrance reducer on there because I'm not quite sure how. Okay. That'll restrict their flight a little bit. Like I said, today's not the best day probably for them to fly so far anyhow, but it is supposed to clear off, so we'll hope for the best here. I just didn't want to leave them in that swarm trap any longer than I had to. So what we have set up here is I have a frame feeder on this side. I have an empty frame here, partially drawn comb there, and 2 empties, and I'm going to put their frames right here in the middle. So I'll just keep them kind of in the same orientation that they are right now in the box. So far they seem fairly calm. They're not real, but they are building some comb in there. Some crazy comb, I would say. Boy, I'll tell you, if I could get these 3 frames, man, they are on those frames pretty tight. I usually don't like to pick up more than 1 frame, but man, I tell you, I think if I could get all 3 of these at once, it would make this job a lot quicker and a lot, stir them up a lot less. So I'm going to try it. Scoop the comb over on the we're definitely going to have to. You know, I guess I'm going to have to rethink this. I wanted to do them 3 at a time, but man, they got so much comb there. So, looks like it'll be 1 at a time and taking any excess comb off. So, yeah, you can see there, they're already starting to extend that comb down. Now this swarm, I can tell you, I was checking it on our way to church every week. There was nothing in it, nothing in it. Went out this past Sunday and was like, hey, you know what, there's a good many bees in there. So basically, in no more than a week's time, this swarm moved in and started building comb. So that's good. Now I just need them to do it in the box. Keep this comb and melt it down. Wax our frames and things like that. So set it over here. And I know we got more. Wow. Look at the brood on here already. So, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, when we were out and looked at these before church, I didn't think there was anything going on today. They almost had to have been in here. That is a lot of excess comb on the bottom for just 1 week. Or for not even a week, about 4 days. So I'm thinking they'd almost had to have been in there. Oh, whatever what I think. But we weren't really, and it's fresh comb, it's just a regular part of me when I try to take the bees off. So, well, the bad thing is, I shouldn't say bad, but there's larvae in that comb. Oops. Yeah, there it is. Wow. There. Capped over brood in here already, so yeah, I'm not going to take much time to try to find her, but she's definitely in here. Maybe some larvae. Put that down there. Gotta get some more of these bees off of this one. These are nurse bees here, and they don't want to leave that brood or leave the. But I had to get that off the bottom of those frames. So I didn't have a choice. I'm glad I did not let this go until we got back in 4 days, because they'd have had this box even more of a mess. If you look at this here, oh my goodness, there's eggs in every cell here. This is definitely a good queen. Can't say it's one of mine. I grafted though, because obviously caught it in a swarm trap about 8 miles from here. So there she is. I see her right there. Beautiful queen. I'm not going to try to mark her. Maybe you guys can see that. She's right here with her butt up in the air. You can see that at all, I don't know. Right there in that top corner. So I'm going to get her back in before she decides to take flight. Probably to brood. Okay. She's right in the middle of that frame, and we're going to leave her there. There and let her go. That is impressive to say the least. How they draw their comb so fast, man. Like I said, this was we just checked this Sunday. Decent amount of activity at the gate, but or at the opening. But I was like, oh, they probably just moved in. Let's give them a couple of days. I probably could have pulled it Sunday and been okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get most of these bees knocked down here. And I'm going to have to bring feed back up here and put on these. Because I didn't bring the sugar water up. So we're going to go ahead and this unvented. And put this lid on top. That was just like that. We have a queen right hive sitting here. We just pulled off a tree yesterday, so that is fantastic. Glad she was as active as she was. Okay, so that takes care of that one anyway. But just look at all this comb. Let me show you here. All this comb that they built on the bottom of the frames in a matter of 4 days. Since we saw them moving in, and then 4 days later, this is what we had. So, okay, like I said, we'll keep this. We'll melt this down for waxing our frames and such. So, we're gonna move on down here and check one of our, or check 2 of our starter colonies that we have grafted into 2 days ago, just to see if they're doing anything with those eggs. So we'll be right back with you.